Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Cause I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. Cut that game plan. Show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. And the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, been pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, y'all. Oh, guys. Good evening, everybody. It's not because it's echo. I'm sorry. Bear with us one moment.
I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations.
Hello.
No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We gonna get it.
Either we make up or just break up. And the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got it.
Right. Okay, here we go. Happy Thursday, everybody. So sorry about that, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is another Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. I am happy and excited on tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Listen, life be life and things happen. You know what? We overcome. We overcome. And we are here. Technical, difficulties are going to happen. And life is life. So, but nonetheless, we are here. We are ready. We are good to go. So again, good evening. It is my favorite day of the week, Thursday night, because I get to spend it with you all. And I am so glad that you are here with me. Once again, 52 weeks. We have made it to the end of 2023. And we are here to do what? That's right. Give yourself a bravo. We are here to celebrate. Celebrate. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of things to celebrate and to be happy and to be grateful for. So on tonight, it's gonna be real easy, free flowing. I just wanted to, give some homage. First of all, I'm going to ask you all to like, subscribe, and share. Bring a friend, pop them into this great space that we are having on tonight. And we are going to prepare to wrap up this year like never before. Who knew in January we would be here today? But look at us. Thanks be unto God. So, first and foremost, I want to pay homage and always give homage to the Queen Bee, none other than Pastor Sheila, the Queen of Bravo herself, who so graciously always yields me this captain share every Thursday night to spend this time with you. Normally, I'm on with her on Tuesday nights, co-hosting. School got in the way, but we kept pushing forward with Thursday, and we are here. We made it, y'all. I made it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited. So you have to excuse me on tonight. That's right. That's right. Listen, you got to celebrate each and every day, every accomplishment, everything that you've overcome. And that's what we're here to do tonight. Again, nothing formal. We're just gonna let it flow, make it do what it do. You know how we do on Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B. We're gonna let it be what it is. So I just want to thank you all for being here with me. I want to first thank some of my good folks that have come on and become a part of the Bravo with Sheila network, specifically the Thursday night with Lady Dawn B uh, broadcast. I want to thank and welcome my sister girl from another mister. She is my North Carolina sister. She keeps trying to, hoop me in, loop me in. She trying to make me drop my Y, but I'm just not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. So I'll forever be NYC. But she's in the person of Michelle Roach. She is no stranger to this platform. So come on, Michelle, greet the people if you don't mind. You gotta unmute. There you go.
Well, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, it's good to see Pastor Sheila. All right, thank you for always opening doors. I had a little problem unmuting because I was shocked when I looked to my left and I saw none other than Pastor Chris. But I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull it together and just tell everyone hello. It's so good to be here. As Lady B said, God has blessed us with another 24 hours, and we just want to be thankful for so much. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Lady Dawn, and I see Pastor Chris is already showing up and showing out.
Well, hey, we come to make it do what it does, so we wouldn't expect him to do anything else but be what? Authentically full throttle Pastor Chris. So, while speaking of Pastor Chris, I'm going to say thank you so much for coming on and for being a part, Pastor Chris. If you did not know him, aka the Psalmist Voice Radio Network, he is it. He holds so many different, he wears so many hats. He's a one-man show. He's just one-stop shopping, one-man show. So with that being said, he has been on this platform 2 times, or maybe 3 already. He is a part of the Men's Lounge. His voice is one that needs to be heard and very much appreciated. We want to hear some of the testosterone in the building. We want to hear from the men folk. So we thank him for coming on. So come on, Pastor Chris, greet the people on tonight.
Oh Lord Jesus. I don't know. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. You can hear me. Okay, good.
Yes, we hear
well, I can't hear myself, but it is what it is. But God bless all of you. Welcome to the show. Yeah, it's been one of those days today, but I had to come on. I had to represent again to my new family. Of course, big up goes to the first lady of the Bravo with Sheila Network. Miss Sheila's in the building. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so much for allowing this guy over here to just be in the same circle with such greatness. I'm just saying. And also we have the distinguished Toastmaster Michelle Roach. Let me raise my coffee because I'm going to need it. And looking so elegant as always, Michelle Roach. And of course, we have Mama Rosa in the building. It's about to go down. So again, I'm gonna try to be good tonight because I'm going on half a coffee. So again, Lady Dawn B, let's celebrate. Let's go.
And yes, that's what you get when you get Pastor Chris. If you don't know, now you know. He is the psalmist voice for a reason. And for those who have had a little taste of him over the last few weeks, this last month, maybe and a half, 2024, prepare yourself. Okay, I'm putting a disclaimer out there. Listen, you're on your own. Tack your wig down. Make sure that you're secured when it comes to Pastor Chris. I don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get it. So thank you, Pastor Chris, for coming on. Also, as you already know, she is none other than my mama. Literally, we call her Mama Rosa. She is Pastor Rosa Griffin. She brings the knowledge, the biblical points. She keeps us straight and on the narrow road as needed be. Sometimes we veer off. She's our voice of reason. She's no stranger to this platform nor to this network. So come on, mommy, greet the people and say hello. Give me 1 second, Miss Ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm having my own technical difficulties. All right, go for it.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, everyone. We have Coach on one side and Pastor Chris on the other, So we have our challenges. We have our challenges awaiting us. It plans to be it looks to be, exciting. All we need is Coach right now, Pastor Sheila. All set.
We're not ready just yet. We want to end the year without breaking anything. Okay. So in the new year, we will have Pastor Chris and Coach in some type of, we're going to work it out. But again, we are not responsible for what happens that night. You're going to have to sign a waiver on that night. And last but not least, she is my amazing mentor in these podcasting streets. Without her, I would not be here. I said it on Tuesday night. She has a gentle way of pulling out of you and pushing you forward before you even know that you have been pushed. You are already in your purpose place. She is none other than, the curator of this amazing space. She is the Bravo Queen herself. Come on and give it up for my auntie. Now, y'all better clap like Jesus is coming. That's all I'm saying. For my auntie Bravo, Pastor Sheila Ingram. She is so many things. You need counseling. You need therapy. You need a good word. You need a good laugh. You need a hug. You need some love. You need some discipline. You need somebody to help you walk it out, as she says, in shoe leather. She is your person. Come on, give it up for Pastor Sheila on tonight.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey everyone. Oh my God. It's an awesome night. It's a wonderful time. I tell you, it is an awesome time. I'm not going to be on here long because I have some work to do, but I had to come up to celebrate with you and to celebrate you and all of you who have helped to get her to this point. I celebrate this great woman of God. I celebrate her because she's not afraid to do it afraid. And so I am so grateful that she stepped out and put her foot in that flow of worship, in that flow. She's a worshiper, but when you step out and worship, it'll take you many places, right? In the natural and in the spirit. And so I'm just so grateful that she said yes to being my co-host when Pache kind of went left to do something that she had to do. Dawn graciously stepped in and became the co-host of Bravo with Sheila. And then I was like, okay, Lord, what you saying? I was like, oh, it's time. Let me just push her on out. And she took Thursday night and just ran with it. Just ran with it, put her own spin to it, brought so much powerful information to the people. The content has been superb. I'm telling you, I can't wait to see what's going to come out of her this next coming year. But I salute her. I'm so very proud of you, Dawn, for just carrying it and helping me to build the Bravo with Sheila network. This is not an I thing. This is a we thing. And we did this together as two hosts on this platform. You taking Thursday and running with it, and me keeping Tuesday. And then we have so many other things that have jumped off from Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so I really salute you. I tip my hat to you and say thank you for being so courageous. Thank you for pushing back past the no and taking all the yeses. And look at you now. You're doing things. You're so comfortable on the platform. You have no fear. You're getting topics. You're sending those topics. I'm like, okay, Lord, keep doing it. So I thank you. And I thank all the viewers, all the people that show up every time we come on the platform. I thank you so very much for helping us get here. We are so close to becoming what we almost said 1,000, but we just fighting to get, and we're not fighting, we're moving to get I think 300 more, and they will correct me, 300 more hours, watch hours, so that way we can then get super chats and move into the YouTube streets in a different level, and the algorithm will be able to shove us out a little bit more. We're doing okay for the time that we've been on, I've been told by the real content people that have been out here for years. They said we're doing good to be almost at 1,000 subs, less than 2 years. So this, and not on every day. So I just thank God for the viewers. I thank everyone that's in the chat that comes no matter what, rain, sleet, snow. You guys are always in the chat. You're always, we can feel your energy. I give a huge bravo to Enenia. I give a huge bravo to her. If it's just one person on here, she's on. If it's only one person on the Christian channel, she's there. Also, my brother Von Eric, where's your faith? But Ene has become a moderator in these streets, and she has helped me. She has never missed one show. She has never, ever, she stops her work day. She does what she has to do. She said, I got to drop everything when you're on. When that alert goes on, she's there to support. And I really, really appreciate her. I appreciate everyone here. Von Eric, where's your faith? Listen, I already dropped the link in the chat for Dawn, for Lady Dawn. I dropped the link in the chat as she invites you up. I'm sure she's going to say, come on up. The StreamYard link is in the chat. She'll let you know when you can pop up. But all of you that are in the chat, Alicia Harris and all of you up there in the bleachers, or in the balcony, or maybe, just maybe, you bought an expensive ticket and you're in the orchestra, because we know how much those tickets cost, right? We love you. Hit that thumbs up and keep us moving. Thank you so very much, Mother Rosa, Pastor Rosa. Listen, we don't have enough time for me to talk about you right now, but this woman of God, oh my God, what blessing she's been to the Bravo platform, and now also to the Sheila Ingram network platform on her own show every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Listen, we're excited for what 2024 is going to bring. We're so excited. We have a new show coming on the Bravo channel on Monday nights. And I'm sure you're going to love it. It's Harlem Ink Girls. They're going to be doing some things. They have forgot the name of their show. Shame on me. But I'll let you know before it is over what the name of their show is going to be. If I could pull it up now, I got to give them a plug. Let me give them a plug. Please let me give them. It's called, the name of this show is called Mondays Beyond the Mic. Mondays Beyond the Mic, with Elaine Sanders and my daughter, Pache Felton. So they're starting February 5th. We are trying to create the network. We're going to get a men's panel at some point. God's going to send them in and give them a night, just so we can keep giving out good content. We can help people grow. We can break generational curses off of people. We can just help people push past what's been holding them back, even those that have that drawback spirit, right? We want people to deposit what God has placed in them on this platform and on the ministry channel. So I just want to say thank you so much. And she is saying that we are short of 312 watch hours. We are getting there. She's saying, please play the videos. As you play the videos, the watch hours just start moving. Just start moving. So you guys go ahead and look at some of the old content and the new content. And she's saying it is an honor to serve. It is an honor to have you in Ania. So I'm going to drop off. I just wanted to come up with Niece and let her know how proud I am of her and what she's doing. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what's getting ready to happen. I mean, Pastor Chris has joined the panel and he's a powerhouse. He has so much to give. You got Michelle Roach, who always is dropping jewels with her humor. We got so many people that are not here that help Dawn get to where she is. And so we give a huge bravo to all of you who have played any part. Thank you for the monetary gifts. Let me just thank the sponsors tonight who allow me to keep being on this platform. It is not free, right? So those that sponsor, we have Superfood Parents who gives a monthly donation. We got Pastor Rosa who gives a monthly donation. We have Enania who gives a monthly donation. And other people are coming, which allows us to buy equipment, trying to get a new camera, all these different things. So I thank you so much for your monetary gifts. We are doing what we need to do. I love you so much. Smooches to all of you, smooches. And I'll see you soon. I'm going to drop off and toss it back to Niece so she can do her thing and I can get out of the way. All right, guys. I love you.
We love you. Where would we be when I tell you how much I love Pastor Sheila? I call her my Auntie Bravo. There is no other footsteps. There are no other footsteps that I could imagine myself walking in and taking this journey behind. Like I said, this was something that I wanted to do, but didn't know how to do, I guess, in a sense, and maybe was hiding from it as well. But, God opens doors and puts us in the places where we need to be when we need to be there. So, I'm grateful for that. But Pastor Sheila is just amazing in every sense of the word. If you have not yet caught one of her shows, I encourage you to tap in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel so that she can share with you some really good jewels and nuggets. She's on pretty much every day in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, we're grateful to be here. So again, I didn't know when the year started out that I would end up here and be in this space, but I'm so glad that I am. And I really am truly grateful for each and every one of you that tune in, that watch, whether it's live or whether it's on the replay. It is so important. You can spend your time anywhere, but I thank you for spending your time with me. And the times that we have worked through our technical difficulties when, technical life be life and, but we make it through and we persevere. So again, this is a celebration on tonight. So I hope you got your good juice, your beverage of choice. I always say, grab your snack and let's chat. Because I want to just honor, excuse me, the things that we've done in 2023. When you look back over your life, so many things have happened from January till now, some that we did not expect, some that maybe we prepared for, and maybe others that we planned. Maybe we started some things and they haven't come to their full fruition. And I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I just believe in setting goals and keep continuing to push towards them. Because some things take longer than others. You cannot force the process. But I'm so grateful for the voices that God has added to my life, and for the precious people that are on this platform with me tonight. So I'm gonna try not to be emotional. I'm trying to keep my tears on the inside. But I want to thank Michelle Roach. I want to get this conversation going, and I want to ask a question to everyone, if they don't mind. I do also want to again shout out to Von Eric, who is Von Eric Where's Your Faith, who is a total supporter. He is on always. and to Anae as well. Anae is just a beautiful soul, so supportive, so helpful, and just very encouraging. And as Pastor Sheila said, to those who are in the silent sections, who prefer, the hush area like the library, we appreciate you. We see you, whether you speak or not. But we want to invite you in 2024 to come on down to the comment section. We promise it's nice down here. We play nice. We play as nice as we can, But don't be afraid. Pastor Chris is really gentle. Don't be scared. And Michelle, she don't mean no harm. She don't mean no harm. So I want to ask you guys, what was your greatest accomplishment in 2023? If you had one to give out, we're celebrating, because a lot of times we do a lot of things throughout the year, and we don't pause to celebrate ourselves. Small victories are still victories. They're stepping stones to the greater part of us, to our greater goal. So I want you to take a minute and just think of one thing, if you don't mind. Just think of one thing that you accomplished in 2023, maybe that you did not celebrate, and you should, because we need to learn how to give ourselves, as Pastor Shield says, a bravo. So I'm gonna start with my my North Carolina sister. She's she's a little bit of a trouble, pot stirrer, but I want to ask her to come on and share with us on tonight, if you don't mind. Come on, Michelle. Right, fix your turban.
Thank you, my sister, Lady Don B. We ask ourselves every now and then, how do we become related? But that's a topic for another show. But for 2023, I just have to say, I'm grateful. I'm just so grateful to still be here, because a lot of my friends, my mother, she passed in August, but I just thank God that the family was able to come together, celebrate her life. We celebrated her all year long. She wrote her first book, and the family celebrated her. So again, something I didn't expect was the loss of my mother. But again, I thank God for the opportunity to celebrate her. I moved from North Carolina to Virginia to be with my children right after, COVID. But again, God gave me the transportation, everything I needed to be able to be with my mother and to celebrate her life before she joined him in heaven. So that's what I'm proud of.
Good. That's a good thing. We did a show, I think it was last week, talking about growing through grief, because so many people, and especially during the holidays, when it's a time for geared towards family and friends and gatherings and things, so many people, sometimes we become desensitized because we're caught up in the hustle and the bustle. And as you were talking about, the loss of your mom, I'm sure the holidays are different from you. And one of the things that I shared was that, we have to check on our strong friends, because a lot of times people still see you smiling because you're functioning, but they don't know really what it's taking for you to put that smile on. Sometimes we busy ourselves with busy things, just so that we can maintain a sense of normalcy. So I congratulate you and I celebrate you for pressing through that, and continuing to grow through that loss. It's a day by day journey. And one thing that I said, that I shared, was that, at every table that we're at, I don't care who you are, at every table during the holidays, somebody was missing. None of us had everybody that we started out with on our journey, and around the table, there are some people that are missing. But I can't tell someone how to grieve, but I would just encourage you to grab a memory that means something to you of that person and hold on to that in those moments. And then use that as a catalyst to celebrate and appreciate those that still are around the table. Because truth be told, one day our seat is going to be empty at the table, and so we just have to stay encouraged. So thank you for sharing that, Michelle. I believe 2024 is going to be a great and an amazing year. What y'all don't know, or some may know about Michelle, is that Michelle is an author. She's written a book. She's written a poetry book. I say it's a sultry poetry book. She is.
It's not for the children's library. No, it's not. Don't give it to the children for a Christmas present. No, I don't want to.
It needs to be 25 and older. Okay, so and come with a disclaimer. But that is a major accomplishment as well. She's also, as we call her, as Pastor Chris refers to her, she is literally the distinguished Toastmaster, and she curates a great space on Wednesday nights on Clubhouse, where we come in moving forward with God, where we come in and we share the word, we glean from each other. It's a space where we can decompress from our day, and the key to the room is laughter. We've been doing all type of stuff all day long, working for everybody, and sometimes we need a minute to just release, and that's the space in a room where we can just let go and release and be free and laugh. So thank you for doing that, Michelle. So y'all need to check her out on Clubhouse when you can and if you can. So I'm gonna hop down to, my God, help us, Lord. This fireball, this powerhouse, as Pastor Sheila put it, he is a new voice to Bravo, but is the minute you hear him, you are no longer a stranger, or he is no longer a stranger to you. He resonates, his voice resonates, comes with a lot of wisdom. He comes with a lot of, I won't say charm. He is personable, but he is like a good dose of truth that we all need. He's gonna give it to you straight, no chaser, and it just is what it is. But we need that. We sugarcoat so much in life and in the world that the truth is so far and so foreign that when we do hear it, we don't know how to digest it, and we become offended. But some of us, or all of us, need to be offended at some point in time. So, that's the only way we're going to grow and get better. So, Pastor Chris, I want you to come on and share with the people. Tell us, first of all, what is something that you can share that you are wanting to celebrate, or can celebrate, that you've achieved in 2023 that is going to push you into 2024?
I'm gonna try to be brief, but a lot has happened in the last year for me. I was promoted at my job. I started back working. A lot of people that follow my network over there, they know my story. But I was able to go back to work after 6.5 years of not being able to work at all. God is definitely using me to be that walking miracle, because I'm not even supposed to be walking, let alone doing half the stuff I do now. But to God be the glory. But that's a whole nother show for a whole nother time. I got promoted recently in June. I have my own branch now, and it's been a ride, because I was not expecting to go back to corporate America, let alone have my own anything. And then throughout the rising of me coming back into the fold of, working again and things like that, tragedy happened in my life, and it kind of threw me through a loop. But, as I said to a lot of people, I could have let last year, this year, pretty much bury me. I could have let all the emotion, the anger, the church hurt, the guilt, all this stuff. I could have let all that stuff pretty much bury me. But there was always something that was inside of me, especially before what happened to my son, what happened to me personally, that if God can put me back together and be able to use the voice that he gave me, and yes, it's going to offend folk. Yes, our network is a very controversial network. We've been blackballed on almost every place you can think of that's in the corporate setting of Christendom. But at the end of the day, this is what needs to be said. We need to understand that the natural and the spiritual have to align. We can have all this all we want, but if we do not understand how to mesh it together to make it make sense, what's the point of having all this knowledge? So again, like I said, I'm trying to put all this because a lot has happened in a year for me, but as you see in the background, it's called Resurgence. And you already know, for some of you that have followed my journey, you already know how I am now. 20
Okay. Okay. All right. So as we see on tonight, we are having some technical difficulties, but technology is going to act right on tonight in Jesus' name. So I'm sure as soon as he is able to get back onto the platform, he will be back. He was frozen. So I'm glad it's not just that, but you know what? This is what happens. But we're gonna celebrate anyway. We're celebrating it. We are celebrating. And as he was sharing, the word that kept coming to me with what he was sharing is overcomer. You know, it's overcoming. He's overcome a lot, and we're celebrating being an overcomer. He will be back on the platform as soon as he can. So I'm going to jump to, hold on, I think he is back. Let us see.
Yes, I'm back now. Yes, I already told you I was going to shut this whole thing down. I already told you. Yeah, I told
it's okay.
You I was going to shut it down. But I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to digress. What I'm saying is resurgence is a word that is so personal to me that when people say, "Oh, I could just feel the energy," well,
but technology is going to act right. Okay, I'm not sure.
see,
We're gonna let the technology do what technology is doing. It's okay. But we can hear you though. But we're gonna celebrate anyway. We're celebrating sharing the word. I think that's.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you. You know.
That's crazy. Okay, well, I don't even know what's going on right now, so I'm just gonna keep going. At the end of the day, like I said, again, I don't get offended by stuff like this because again, it follows me everywhere I go. So, you know, like Michelle does, she there we go. You know, she's gonna do this. I already see the vein on her head coming up, so that means time. So I'm going to pause, but I thank God for everything that He's done in this year, because truly without Him, I would not even be here, let alone be still in demand. And I'd have to give God the glory for that, because it ain't about me. It's not about my ego. It's not about what He's done through me. It's all about Him, period. So as long as I continue to give Him the glory and not about my ego, not how many people is on my stuff, and God can bless people through this vessel, this broken piece of hot mess, I thank God that He can do it. So again, thank you so much. I'm going to pause because, like I said, I can go. So thank you so much for allowing me to share. I'm done. I'm dropping the mic.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you, sir. Well, thank you. What I will say is, I know that normally on Wednesday nights, you know, we you know, but we on Thursday night now. We on Thursday night. We on Thursday night now. So we don't have we ain't got to worry about that. So, you know, Michelle, you don't have to be timekeeper tonight. We gonna roll with it. I keep time for her in her room. I am her appointed administrator who did not apply for the job, nor do I get paid. However, I show up. It is the best non-paying job I've ever had in my life. I did not volunteer. I was just, you know, told one day. And so if you're bold enough to tell me, then I guess I have to be submissive enough to listen. So ain't too many people gonna tell me what to do. I'm just saying. But as Pastor Chris was talking, I don't listen to everybody. I'm being honest. I'm telling my truth. I don't. I hear you. I just may not listen. But, you know, that's another story for another time. That's another show. But as Pastor Chris was talking, and in your absence, what I was saying about what you were sharing is that the one word that kept coming to me as you were sharing is overcomer. You know, and we have to celebrate overcoming the things that come in our way, you know, the bumps in the road that pop up to try to throw us off of our square, you know, to knock us out of position, to push us out of alignment. And a lot of times those things do happen. I know I've been knocked out of my box several times. You know, I know that I have been out of alignment willingly and unwillingly, you know, but the good thing is that grace abounds all the more and allows us to bounce back and get back in line, you know, and we have to learn how to overcome these things that are in our way, and don't let one moment of defeat, you know, make you think that you can't get back up and get back in place. You know, we overcome these things, you know, and we move forward. So thank you for sharing that, Pastor Chris. It is so important. Again, tonight is about celebrating. Thank you all for joining. We're not, we're not ending now. I'm just pausing to say thank you, because you can spend your time anywhere. Time is one thing that you cannot get back. It is precious. It is important. And we have to be mindful of where we spend it. So when you don't count it robbery to come and spend these 60 to 90 minutes with me on a Thursday night, I appreciate it more than you ever know. I am so humbled, because you could be listening to anything, but you choose to tap into the voices that are here and in this space, and we appreciate it. So I want to shout out to Krishana Roach. Thank you for showing up and coming through on tonight. She is the daughter-in-law of Michelle Roach. And then we have Three Kings Production. He says, greetings, family. He is the son of Michelle Roach. Come on in here, y'all. Family is in the house. And again, as always, do our trio, like, subscribe, and share. We are just having free-flowing conversation on tonight. Wanted to end the year just acknowledging, just celebrating, and just appreciating all that has transpired over these almost 365 days. We are 361, and again, had you told me in January I would be here today, I would have told you was lying. I said the other day that I'm grateful because I'm ending the year with more than I had. And it's not that I got a new house and a new car. You know, people think of materialistic things. I'm ending the year with some precious, priceless things, with more than I ever had in the people that God has added to my life. And that's what I appreciate the most. You know, the addition of Michelle, the addition of Pastor Chris, the addition of my Clubhouse family, and so many others that God has just now pushed and aligned me with to take me to my next. I celebrate that, and I celebrate each of you. And while I'm celebrating life, I want to now give space to the giver, the vessel God used to give me life. I call myself 404 because there are four of us. I am the last of the last. I am the last breathweight to come from this amazing woman here. She is so many things. She's in the background. We're in the same space, y'all. So don't pay us no mind. But there's so many things that I could say about this woman, and it's hard to do it without sounding biased because she literally is my mother. She is who birthed me into the earth. She raised me. She taught me, I won't say she taught me everything that I know because I know, right. God, that's it, Pastor Chris. She taught me God. She taught me how to have she taught me, she didn't just teach me, but she showed me who God is. That's it. Just like that, Pastor. Yes. Just, you know, I would say my mother was very intentional when it came to me and for all of us, but she was very intentional. I can only tell my story. My brothers and sisters can tell theirs, but I knew from a child, I didn't know how to put it into words, but as an adult, I can say, you know, she was very intentional about how she raised me, the things that she showed me, what she taught me, how she handled me. You know, she taught me to be a lady. She taught me to be gracious. She taught me to be kind. She taught me to be humble. She taught me to be confident. She taught me to see the best in others. Now, again, I won't say she taught me everything that I know, because I had a whole father who was a whole thug. And so he taught me the opposite side of life. He taught me how to survive. He taught me, how to do chokehold. He taught me, how to manage myself out in the streets. He taught me the other side of being a lady. From a man's perspective, he taught me a lot. So the two of them allowed me to become a very well balanced individual. But she is amazing, and so she is amazing, and she's so loving. If you ever get to connect with her, and again, I'm not just saying this because she is my mother, but she is one who grew up without a mother, but yet has become a mother to so many. You can't get exposed to Pastor Rosa and not want to just embrace the mother in her. So I want her to come and share what 2023 has been for her, and share something that you are celebrating as this year wraps up. Come on, give us some. This is our voice of reason and our wisdom. Come on, drop some jewels, mama.
Good evening, everyone, again. And I think if I remember correctly, you said celebrate, speak on something we're celebrating we didn't expect. Am I correct? Okay. Well, I co-authored, I was one of 3 co-authors in my very first book in May. I didn't expect to do that, and I celebrate that I accomplished that. I celebrate that I did not expect for it to happen when it did, but my not-for-profit, we're not going to go into the particulars, but I celebrate that we accomplished establishing, authenticating our not-for-profit businesses, and celebrate launching my ministry legitimately, to that it wasn't brought it forth from being an idea to actually being in manifestation. I think we all have that same sadness. We all 3 of us share the same situation. Unfortunately, we lost someone dear to our lives, but I did not expect to be at this stage that I am, in the acceptance that I lost my sister. And the reason why, it's a struggle is because, if you're going to help people, you have to be transparent. You have to open up yourself. And that's something that God has taught me, to this point, as a minister, as a Christian, as, being where I am in the position of being a pastor. You have to be transparent. You have to open yourself. You have to sometimes be a victim, because that's the only way that God is going to use you, for his purpose, as he said, I think it's Isaiah 53 or 51, when he personally said to me, I've called you as a woman, as if you have been abandoned and you've been overlooked. And I was, in both my marriages, but it was intentional, as Dawn said. It's intentional because you cannot relate to the people that you have been called to shepherd, under shepherd. And we can't forget that. These are not our people. We have been called to under shepherd, to We've been called to shepherd God's people. And so we can't get it twisted. We can't get it, we can't get confused about it. These are not our people. We've been called to shepherd God's people. And so in order to do that, God has to prepare. We have to be that vessel, just as, excuse me, just as Jesus became flesh so that he could understand all the things that we struggle with in order to do what he's doing now, being at the right hand of the Father. So for me, I said all that to say, I celebrate that my sister, after over 50 years of mental illness from being an abused wife, she's at rest. And you know, I'm trying not to get too deep into it. You know, I grew up watching her be abused, and if anyone deserved not to have gone through what she went through, it was her. My sister was a student. She was brilliant. She really was. She was a beautiful woman inside and out, and so to watch her be abused, you know, it's very, very painful. But I thank God today that I can celebrate that she's with God now. And when I learned that she passed away, I cried. I was speechless at first. I still cry. The pain is still there because I don't have my sister. Greater than that is that she was not even able to live the life, express the gifts, you know. Michelle is a writer. We're all writers here. She never got to exercise her gift. She was an artist. She was a singer. She was a designer. She was a seamstress. She was all those things. God gave her all those gifts, and she was excellent at them. And even in her illness, my sister enrolled into Columbia University, which is one of the greatest universities here in New York, and took up anthropology in the midst of her being mentally ill. And you know, it's just a hard thing. But I celebrate not just her life, but I celebrate the God of my salvation who has given me the strength to say I celebrate that my sister is at peace. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not crying. I'm crying because I miss my sister. But when I found out that she passed away, all I could say to God was, you are so faithful. And to some people that may sound like, well, what are you talking about? You would have to understand God to understand how grateful I was that he took her home. She didn't have to suffer anymore. And the peace that I have is that she's a believer. You know, so I celebrate tonight that even with the negative things, when we have God on our side, we can get through this, you know. And there is a scripture that says, you know, all things work together for the good of those who are the called of God, you know. And so I'm so thankful tonight that I am the call of God, because God hears our prayer. That was part of my prayer. I prayed almost every day for my sister. You know, God keep my sister, watch over her, because she was in a state she couldn't help herself. So it's not meant to be a sad note, you know. It's a real note, you know. That's my celebration, you know, and I hope that you could, you know, get something glean positively from that, you know. And I say that to Michelle, you know, that you lost your mother even more recently than I lost my sister. Yeah, you know, you're smiling, you're getting through the day. Your son got married, you have a daughter-in-law, you're celebrating, you still can celebrate in life. You have to have faith to be able to do that, you know. So that's my share. I don't drop the mic, but I I release.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mom, for sharing the things that you are grateful for. We all go through, our challenges and our uncomfortable spaces and the unfortunate things or unfavorable moments that happen in our lives. But the beautiful thing is that, again, we are here tonight to celebrate. We don't want to, we're not gonna, and we don't want to focus on the negative trials that we've gone through. We are acknowledging our experiences, but we have made it through all of those tough moments, and for that we owe ourselves a bravo, as we do here, as Pastor Sheila says. We're patting ourselves on the back. We are celebrating just the goodness, the thankfulness. That's right. Clap, Michelle, clap. I see you. We are celebrating. We come to, rejoice, because we did not have to be here for 52 weeks. I know for myself, I am so grateful and so thankful. Again, the year started out one way. We don't know, how the year is going to go. We don't know how the day is going to go. We wake up and sometimes we have preset expectations of how our day is going to go, and it could take a hard left at any time. But the beautiful thing is that we always have the opportunity to turn things back right. And the things that we go through, they really only come to make us stronger. We are all emerging at the end of this year as strong vessels, not weak, not broken, not in pieces. But Mama Rosa, she's always going to give you scripture. She's always going to give you words. She's going to give you scripture. It's what you're going to get. If you don't get nothing else, you're going to get that good word. But it reminds me of a story in the Bible where the ship, they were on a ship, and the ship had hit a major storm that broke up the ship itself. Could you imagine? And that has happened for many of us in the things that we've gone through, in life. We are in a ship, our safe space, our perfect bubble, our utopia. And what happens? A storm comes and it destroys and breaks up everything that we thought was our safe space, our comfortable places. And guess what? The story goes on to talk about how those who were saved, those who were able to make it, they did what? They made it still to shore. But how did they make it? They made it on the broken pieces. So you have so much to celebrate on tonight, because you've made it to the last Thursday of this year. And sometimes it might be on those broken pieces, but the broken pieces sometimes is all you need to start over again, because that broken piece is a major piece of what you need to survive. And it's not always in the rest of the boat, because the rest of the boat, although it was built to take them there, did not make it. But the broken piece was what helped them get to shore. So thank you for that share, Mom, on tonight. We're going to continue to celebrate. We continue to celebrate and honor that we are overcomers, that we have made it through much, that we have forged our way here. And guess what? It is not over yet. So I want to next ask you again to like, subscribe, and share. I'm so thankful that you guys are on here with me tonight. This year started out one way, and I am grateful that the end of the year, again, like I said, I am leaving with more than I started with. And I believe that's because I have some new additions to my family. But one consistent piece of my family is here on tonight. Literally, he is the brother of the same mother and father. He is who I call 204. He is none other than, now this dude. I think I was, they used to call me Little Donald because I was always up underneath my father. And my brother is Donald Jr. So if anything, I must be Donald the third or something like that, because I was up underneath. It's because he taught me, and I just happened to take the crazy to a whole nother level, because that's what you're supposed to do. Each generation is supposed to supersede the last. So, I just took the crazy that he taught me and I just turned it into something that was extra. I put my extra on the crazy, so it's extra crazy now. But he is in the person of Minister Donald Brathwaite, and I want to yield him space. What we're doing tonight, bro, is we are, first of all, thank you for coming on. Thank you for making it. I look up to my brother in so many ways and in areas that he could not even imagine. He has been such an awesome man. I've watched him persevere and overcome through so many things in his own life and develop into the amazing, not perfect, but the amazing man that he is. One thing I love about my brother is his resilience. And again, I'm not just saying it because they are blood, but you got to be truthful about people, and who they are and where they are. But I admire his resilience because he always bounces back, no matter what. And I don't think he even recognizes sometimes how much he bounces back. But what we're talking about tonight, we're sharing right now in this moment, is something that we want to celebrate that we have accomplished in 2023 that maybe you overlooked. Maybe, there's small things that we don't think make a difference and matter. But you know what? Every day there is something for you to celebrate. Sometimes it's just the fact that you got up this morning, because nobody knows how hard it is when you want to stay in that bed and deal with your feelings. So, bro, come on, say hello to the people, share what you're grateful for and celebrating in 2023. Come through 204.
Good evening, good night, and good evening. If you'll bear with me for just a minute.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
My apologies. I had something in the background playing rather loud. So, good evening, good night, and good day. Hoping everybody's having a blessed day, or had a blessed day, and a blessed one tomorrow. Mic check 1 2. Can everybody hear me? Just shake.
We can hear you, sir. We hear you.
Just making sure. I think my sister has pretty much summed it up. What I would have said, which you
can use my words. You can.
I can't. Okay.
No.
I'm going to use them. I'm going to use them anyway.
It's very rude. Your parents taught you better.
They did, but I think the way you summed it up, I think the way you summed me up actually speaks on the kind of things that I look back at and say, you know what, in spite of what the challenges or distractions, disappointments, changes, transitions, good, bad, or indifferent, I stand here today still saying I made it through, yet by the grace of God, that I've never allowed myself to ever fully give into what my feelings or thoughts may have been through different transitions in my life, where some people I've met having gone through similar things, if not the same exact thing, or just something totally unrelated, have not managed to persevere through it themselves. And I've often, on occasion, been asked or been said, man, I don't know how you've endured so much through certain different moments in my life. But I give God thanks because, I've always tried to not let whatever troubles me take me in the opposite direction. I always say what don't kill me only makes me stronger. I managed to persevere through a lot of personal things. So when I look at not just 2023, but since you said 2023, I think my biggest accomplishment of reflection is that I've made it through 365 days of different turn of events, that have occurred, different things that have changed in the family, things that have changed my friends' lives. I've changed some things in my own personal career or in my own career. I begin to see things a lot differently in life, as far as how to handle things differently and much better, how to kind of just take things in and just take out what's my portion to handle, or not take anything out and just let it run its course and let it be what it's going to be. Because there's some things I just know I cannot control, I cannot change. My dad always used to say, especially when I fussed and complained about a lot of things, he always say, son, the only person you can change is yourself. So I learned to focus more on just me. I don't learn. I've kind of put more time into myself, so that I can continue to be the example that I want to be for my sister, for my kids, for my wife, for my friends. For any stranger that may come my path. One of the men at the church said an interesting thing to me, and it went with a conversation we were having about my character. And he said to me, in short, he said that my continence can be misleading to people. People can misunderstand my continence versus my heart. And so that was just something between me and him where I gleaned from that how I know for myself, and him saying, and him saying what he said fits because I realized that there's some things about my outer appearance or facial expression I may need to be more conscientious of in order for people to not just perceive me as one way, um, as being unpleasant or unapproachable. I think that's the way he said it. But I valued what he said because that was something that I had already discerned and discovered on my own. And my point in saying that is that, that's one of my transitions to 2023 that I just learned to kind of like say, you know what, I don't know what my face looks like when I walk around. But I do value the right people sharing with me, what they think I can do better or be better at. And so his reason for saying that is because, as a minister, you have to be a person that's approachable. People got to want to talk to you, not based on, people got to want to see that you're approachable. And you never know who you're going to cross paths with, in life as we continue to go and extend further. So, again, I could go on and on and on, but I don't want to absorb a lot of your time. Again, 2023 for me has been a total year of transition, from January to today. Tomorrow probably another change or transition, down up to the last day of the month, last month of the year, where we're going into this new year, and I definitely have some big plans for myself. I'm putting it before God for it to manifest, and for me to get the kind of direction that He can only give. So I look at life a little differently, or a lot differently. I heard my mom talk. I know when I chimed in, my mom mentioned about, touched on the subject of friends and family that have passed away, and I always take a different direction when it comes to that happening. People do come, it is sad when our loved ones or friends pass on, but that's part of life, and what we do while we're here now is so important, so that when and if our time does come, when our time comes, because it has to come, I wouldn't want people to remember me for having a poorly looking countenance for a guy with a big heart. I want people to really realize that I have a big heart, and a bit of a bad attitude, but that all depends on what you do, and even with that, I try to withdraw from being confrontational or putting myself what could be in harm's way. I try not to, again, like my dad said, you can't fix anybody else but you. So I learned not to take on other people's problems. Life is life, and we got to smile every day, and we got to keep smiling every day after, and we got to smile through every situation, circumstance that's going to come. We got to, the Bible is not just a book of cliches; it is a book of direction. And I'm one person that will challenge anybody that quotes something but don't fit with what I see about them. So, and I don't mean that to sound like I'm judgmental, but folks use the Bible to quote things that sound so inspirational, and they mean well. There are some that mean very well. My only point to the Bible reference is to say, be certain that what you read is what you apply to yourself first, because you can't help nobody, or you can't assign yourself to people because of what you see about them, and you're still dealing with things on your own. I always say two sick people can't make each other healthy. One person's got to get well in order for the other person to see that and glean from that, and that same person help that person. So I always stand strong on, look, if the word tells me love my brother, then that's what I need to do. In spite of what those people do, if it says turn the other cheek, and it does say that. I don't mean to say if, but the things that the Bible says does give us a better way of living a more healthy life, a more prosperous life. And prosperity is not necessarily in money. If you want to live long, then you gotta change. If you want to live long, first you gotta fix the mindset. Because that's the first attack that the enemy always goes after. He don't. People think, oh, he's going after my body or my money or my family. Well, no, he goes after the head first. Because if he can get in your head and put some things out there to trip you up, because that's his job, then you need to have something that counteracts his actions. We can't keep falling into these traps and then calling ourselves Christians and believers, and then we're not strong enough for ourselves. So we got to definitely make certain that what we project what we project about ourselves emulates what the Bible says, because we made this decision to give our lives to Christ and make Jesus our personal Lord and Savior. Well, Jesus gave directions, gave instructions. He traveled through who knows how many different places to deliver the word and teach us what's been passed on to us. So I definitely hope that what I just said has some merit, can be gleaned. Again, I'm learning that from 2023, it's all right to be me. Tweak a little things, and if you definitely have a calling on your life, you definitely need to understand people are watching us every day. Every day, people are watching us. You probably think everybody that's watching you, but trust and believe, you'll be surprised as to how many other people are watching you that you never thought were watching you. And it's my way of just saying again, as I've grown through this year, I've learned more about who I am, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. I learned to be my good, better, and my best. And I'm just persevering for 2024 to just allow me to just rise up a little more. And yeah, that's all for me.
Okay. Well, hey, we thank you for sharing. We thank you for sharing about persevering. We celebrate. These are things. I asked this question because, again, a lot of times as we are ending the year, there are a lot of things that we have done. There are small things that we consider small accomplishments that we overlook, that we do not take the time to applaud yourself for. And we tend to focus on the more heavier, weightier things and issues that come up. So I just want us to reflect and consider the things that every day I've made myself a promise. And when December came around, I think it was after my birthday, that I was going to find 50 things that every day, 54, I think it was 54 things that every day I was going to find something to celebrate. I was going to find it, whether it is just the fact that today I got up. Again, I said that before. Maybe I didn't feel like it. Maybe you could be all those days you want to stay in the bed sometimes. And that's a real life challenge. Sometimes, just getting up in the morning, getting yourself together to know that, guess what? I don't have it all together today, but now I have to go and I have to serve people who don't have it all together. So I can't even pull from them. I got to find something within myself to get up and go be great, and that's my little hashtag I always say is go be great. Whatever you're going to do, go be great at it. Give it your best. And it's important that every day that we do that, and we find those things. And I don't want us to overlook the things that we do every day, because at the end of the year, We are always looking for the big major things. So what, like, I didn't buy a house this year, and I didn't get a car this year, or I didn't get married this year, or I didn't start the business this year. You know, I didn't break $1 million this year. Okay, but what did you do? What did you do? We have to retrain our way of thinking, you know, and we owe it to ourselves to celebrate you. You made it to today. You made it to today. Every obstacle that you have ever come up against that you thought that you would defeat you, you beat it because you are still here today. You're still standing here. You are still, I don't know what my brother did. He threw himself back down. I don't know. He's going to miss it. He didn't drop the mic, but he just walked off. So who does that? Who does that? 204. 204.
I just dropped. Sorry, my bad.
It's so much. You was persevering. You was persevering. Too much perseverance causes you to drop off. You know what else to do. But you know, it's important that we take this time to reflect of doing this podcast this year. Again, it's been a major challenge. There were days that I didn't want to. There were times where, as Pastor Sheila said, yes, I have mastered doing it afraid while, you know, doing it afraid. I was not taught, quitting is not in my DNA. It's just not something I was taught to do. You know, we learned how to face our challenges, you know, sometimes in our adult life. But we all owe it to ourselves to celebrate who you are and what you've done today. And that's why it's important to come on. I didn't want it to be a heavy conversation. I wanted us to be able to be light and take some of the weight off. And I thank you all for sharing for what you have shared and put out there today, because something that you said is going to resonate with someone. Someone is waiting to hear your voice. So as we say in Michelle's room, you know, thank you for saying yes. It's not over yet, but I do want to ask the men a question. Since we have the men's here, the men's is here. I want to ask y'all a question because, you know, women, we get, we are honored in different ways. On a regular basis, we find things about each other to honor every day. Be like, oh, girl, I like your shoes. Oh, sis, you know, that bag is banging. You know, oh, girl, your hair is done. Like, that's not, where'd you go? Or that polish, just simple things to connect on. Right. So we do celebrate each other. We honor each other. But to the men, I want to ask you, what do we need to do? Number one, do you feel celebrated? And number two, I know it's a loaded question. I know, Pastor Chris, don't quit. We want to have a better 2024. We want to have a better 2024. We do. So I'm asking because you know what? Our men need to be celebrated. And while we're celebrating and honoring each other, you know, a man may tell you, you know, boo, listen, you beautiful. I like the way you wearing that dress today. Or, you know, I just love you as you are, you know, something about when you wear your sweats on laundry day. I don't know. Y'all like that kind of stuff. You know, I guess it's the natural woman thing. I don't know. But I'm just saying, whatever it is, I'm just saying men will compliment and celebrate women on a regular basis. And I don't think that women, we in turn celebrate you as men as you should be. I find that part of that is because maybe we don't know how to celebrate you properly. So in order to try to change that dynamic, because what we think in our minds is how you should be celebrated may not resonate with how you as a man receive being celebrated, what you're really looking for. So I want to ask y'all while we have you, number one, again, do you feel celebrated? And number two, if not, how can we as women celebrate you in a way that you will receive it? Or how do you expect to? What do you look for? What can we do? And I know you want it to be authentic, but again, we have to change our behaviors. And as my brother was talking about the mind, I see you, Pastor Chris. I'm gonna get right to you. You got it. As soon as I stop, you got it first. But my brother was talking about the mind. He was talking about the mind and how it starts up here. So we have to change our thinking. So I wanted to open that up because we had a great discussion a couple of weeks ago when we had the ladies' room versus the men's lounge. And we were talking about when loved right. And we want to be able to love, we want to celebrate you as the leaders, as the kings, as some people call you, as the person that you are. So, Pastor Chris, I'm gonna yield the mic to you. Come on and share. Help yourselves, y'all. I don't know what you're in for, but go for it, sir.
If I may,
you may.
This is a loaded question, and this is a loaded question. But you asked the wrong person this question because I'm going to give it to you straight and real. Do men feel celebrated, especially in our culture? No. I'm just going to be real. Do men feel celebrated in our church culture? No. I'm going to be real. What Brother Donald said, the Minister Donald, rather, what he said was key. When you understand who you are as a man of God, and you change your mindset, Romans 12:2 said this last night, be ye transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. Now, we could go on and on about the bashing and this and that. Okay, Father's Day, we get one day, we get ties and cups and socks. Okay, and then we have Mother's Day, we get a whole week of festivities, and you get a whole 2 aisles of all these different things and stuff like that. And then Father's Day rolls around, we get a little section at a convenience store. I mean, I'm being real. This is on the natural level. Just go to Walmart. So if you go to Walmart or here in Texas. Yeah, we have HEB here in Texas. So HEB, you get one section, Father's Day section. That's it. You get the grill, the tie, the mug. That's it. So again, it's like you have to. HEB is a Texas thing. Yeah. See, my brother know what I'm talking about. But see, it's the best, probably the best chain ever. But that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, what I'm saying is that when you understand who you are, we're already up against a lot of stuff as it is. We're not even talking about being a man of God or having a title or whatever it is. Just being a man alone, a black man. Yeah, I brought race in it because it's a different dynamic for different men. When you're a black man, you're already under the standard. I'm sorry, you are. So if you're not the perfect man or what's being preached in the other dynamic, you're not the Boaz man, you're not flossing, you don't have your Lexus and your big house and all this other stuff, you're not deemed fit for a woman of God. I'm saying God because it's that's a whole nother level, a whole nother show, a whole nother time. So do men feel appreciated in both spectrums? No. In order for a man to understand his value, he first has to understand who he is. That's one. We've already been stacked already. See, I didn't understand who Chris was until Chris had to look at Chris in the mirror. Say, you know what? I can't be like my dad. But I ended up being the worst part of who he was. I'm just going to be real. So in order for me to make the changes in my life, I had to look at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what? Okay, God, I'm sitting here trying to duck and dodge this mantle stuff. I don't even want to be a part of this. But every time I turn around, you keep throwing me right back in the pit. Okay, what's up with that? So again, that's why I don't have a problem or I'm not afraid of being transparent of the process, because it takes a process and it takes a real man to admit his faults and make changes to them and walk in that and teach the next generation of men to be men. Now I'm saying I'm not throwing shade, but follow me here. See, we're giving so many bones that's not correct. A lot of us did not come from a mommy and dad dynamic. A lot of us came from the street. A lot of us had gang members that were our daddies. We had our uncle Petey that was, but that's a whole nother subject. So we've had so many different dynamics of wanting to, what a man looks like, what a man's supposed to be like. I'm supposed to be thug hard, pimping, and all this other stuff. Okay, this is the stuff that we're thrown as a culture. I'm just being real, as a culture. So we have to supersede the dynamic and the narrative. And then when we become the man that is being preached to on Sundays, without the money, you're still inferior. So now what? So again, these are the things that we're challenged. Now, personally, as far as the change, the shift is not going to change or move until us as men walk in who we are. See, we've dropped the bar about 10 years ago. I'm gonna bring some history lesson here, not only from the natural, but in the spiritual. We wanted to stay on our lazy boys and watch NFL football every Sunday, right? Or we were forced to go to church on Easter. We were forced to go to church on, the anniversaries. We were forced to go to church because, I want to save the relationship. So a lot of it was like, I'm gonna sit in the back. I'm good, because I don't do this emotional stuff, right? Because that's what we're taught, right? So we got to be in the back, be all hard, and all this stuff. So when we understand that this whole dynamic of what a man is and what a man's supposed to be, and when the whole thing is cracked wide open, see, people don't want to talk about it. See, that's why you asked the wrong man this question. See, the one thing men want, black, white, green, purple, polka dot, I don't care where you're from, respect. That's the key. I don't care how educated you are, male or female. I don't care if you come from the hood or from Harvard or from Howard. I don't care. If you demasculate a man, don't expect to have Boaz give you everything you want and need, because I'm going to be real with you. He's not. Because first of all, you've demasculated him. You made him feel like this, even though he may have the next $1 billion idea sitting in his head, but yet he's going to close himself off because you didn't give him the one thing that he asked for, respect. Number two, he wants peace. Why a man gonna come home and be nagged on as soon as he walk in the door? Yeah. Look, I deal with that at work. Okay, I deal with that from my customers, from my clients. I deal with that from my bosses. I deal with that in ministry. I don't want to hear the get. Okay, now people gonna get mad with this, but it's okay because it's the truth. And this is why a lot of us have a problem when it comes to finally finding that good thing. And when they're speaking life into us, it's very hard for us to receive it. Why? Because we're always taught to be on defense. We're never taught to be on, okay, let me put my arms down just a little bit. We always doing this all the time because we don't know when that hook's going to come. We say something wrong, you take that heart and you just rip it out. Or you, remember what I did? You know how y'all do. So, I mean, not all of y'all, but I'm just saying, you know how that goes. You bring stuff back from 1985 and then you rub it in the person's face. Now, again, this is not about bashing women because that's not what I'm saying. But you asked me the question, you asked the wrong guy. So I'm gonna give you the straight answer.
Right. You said respect and peace so far is how we can celebrate you. Okay.
Yes. Respect, peace, and first and foremost, we like to get praises too. Like I wish my man be a little more emotional. Oh, I wish my man was a little more romantic. Oh, I wish my man was okay. Now, when you get the man that does that, he weak, or he's soft, or he's this and that. Look, which one do you want? Do you want the jailbird? I'm sorry. Okay, let me be good. Do you want the thug or you want the gentleman? Which one do you want? I mean, I know you can have a medium, but that's a whole nother show for a whole nother time. That's the After Dark,
Yes.
Sheila Bravo After Dark. We won't talk
Right.
about that tonight. But all I'm saying is that we have to understand that it's a thin line here. We have to respect each other as men, as women, black, white, green, purple. We have to understand that all of us don't come from the same dynamic. All of us did not have the same raising. A lot of us did not pick up all these great tools until 50 years down the line, after 3 divorces and a whole bunch of nonsense. See, some of us had to go through the school of hard knocks. Now, if there was a such thing as a university, I would be a double doctorate because I've been through the classes numerous times. Now, but there's no such university, so I can't call myself doctor. But however, what I'm saying is that when you come to God, right, he takes all these wounds, right? He allows all these wounds that you have. And as a man, if we could be transparent and we could put it on the table and present our brokenness to our women, and they don't take it as fuel into that 2 months down the line and throw it in our face, that's the greatest security in the world for any man, that they can be vulnerable and open to a woman, and they receive all the crap, all the imperfectness, but yet I'm not that same man now. This is who I was. This is the mess I came out of, but yet I'm being transparent enough to present okay, all right, I'm not going to preach. So again, we have to present ourselves, right? So when we do that as men, when we get to that point of presentation and when it's slapped out of our hand, that's a problem. So again, respect, peace, honor. We don't have a problem doing that. We don't have a problem doing any of those things. But when we're not getting if we're not getting the reciprocation, we're going to shut down, and you're going to get the worst part of us, and then we're going to be just like everybody else. Oh, you this and you that. But then you had a good thing, but then you turned them off because you thought you wanted a thug instead of a gentleman. I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm going to let my brother talk because, again, I can go on in this topic because I'm very, very educated in this area, but I'm going to stop right there. So I'm dropping the mic. I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you, Pastor Chris. No, we wanted to hear, ladies. Lean, I hope you leaned in because we're talking about celebrating, not just ourselves, but we want to celebrate each other again because our perceptions are very different. Perception from reality can be very, very different. So you're hearing the raw truth and in real time. So respect, peace, praise, and honor are things that we as women need to do to help celebrate our men. We want to have a different 2024. While we're finding things about ourselves every day to celebrate, we also need to find things about each other to celebrate. One of the key things that I say about my platform is that we want to improve communications one with the other, but the most important communication that you need to improve is the one with yourself. It is about learning self, because when we start implementing these things to ourselves, such as respect, such as peace, and such as praise, we are able to then give it to someone else. We can't give somebody something that we don't ourselves have. So it's important that we hear these things. So thank you for that share. I appreciate it. Again, it's all about, we want to be able to celebrate our men differently in 2024. You know, ladies, so I hope you leaned in. I hope you heard. You got 4 days left to figure out your game plan. Maybe work on one thing at a time, but let the man see that that you're working on it. So I'm just saying, take notes, help yourself. Help me. Let me help you. You do not have to apologize. There's nothing to apologize for. This is a free-flowing platform. This is real talk with real resolutions. That's what we do here on Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B. I don't know what they do anywhere else, but that's what I do. So I'm going to yield it to my brother to share so that we can glean from that. And then I'm going to ask the ladies a question, and then we're going to wrap it up for the night. So come on and share, Donald. 204, tell us what your input is on the question. You wait until you come off the mic to drink. Seriously?
Yes, I did.
That's 7 hours to drink.
Cause like
answer question.
Like Pastor Chris said, this is a loaded question. here's my
It is,
thoughts.
but the thing is, you
Hold
and
on.
I know it's loaded, but the reality is we can't get better and we can't get past these things if we are not willing to talk about the loaded questions and get the real
Oh
deal
yeah,
in real time. And I want to share with y'all,
absolutely.
first of all, before Donald shares, these two men are a part of the men's lounge, and their input is key. So they share. So again, I hope y'all are really leaning in. Real men in real time, telling you not the cute story of it. It's not the okay, baby, it's okay. No, it's not okay, because we want to be better. So go ahead and share. Tune into the men's lounge if y'all want to hear more of it. And even if you don't, tune in anyway.
So I'm going to answer that question by going the opposite direction that Pastor Chris leading to answering that question, which is first, how does the man show himself deserving to a woman?
What is that?
How does a man show himself deserving to a woman?
Oh.
We can't hear you. Can y'all hear him?
Mm-mm.
We can't hear you, Donald. Say something.
Yeah, his audio went off.
Okay. All right. You typing it in the chat? Okay. Well, while 204 is regrouping himself, yeah, mute. All right. Let's see.
All right.
I tell you the technical difficulties that are taking place on tonight. Somebody don't want the message to get out tonight, but we getting it out anyway.
I think is this good?
It is, but you need to turn the volume down on your other device because we hear echo.
No, I thought I just took it out. Hold on. Wait. Okay, there we go. We eliminated the problem. All right. Thumbs up if you can hear me.
We can hear you, Mr.
Again.
Bradford. Hang in there, ladies.
Sorry. I'm sorry for all this.
You're doing the most
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
So here's so my
Only
first
on
thought about
Thursday
that,
night with Lady Dawn B. Do you get that?
What happened? Can't hear me still?
We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
We're waiting for you.
So
She's cutting up.
So I'm trying to share that my first thought is, how does a man show himself deserving of that woman's recognition of him being the kind of man he is to her? My next thought is, does he know what he wants in order for him to be able to show her that he's deserving?
Mm-hmm.
So then comes the how does he show love question. And then, like Chris pointed out, Pastor Chris pointed out, there are a lot of variations between ethnicities, right? Because we can always notice how white women supposedly treat their husbands with so much respect and admiration, whether they're deserving or undeserving. That's the impression we're given from all the observations, whether it's through television, whether it's through just what you see in the stores, or who you fellowship with at the job, or even in ministry. I mean, at church. If you have that kind of element in there, we always there's always it's always noticeable to me how I think white men are held or admonished by their white wives versus how the Asian women value their Asian husbands versus how the Indian culture the women tend to versus the Indian culture, where I notice that the women tend to walk behind the man And I have an understanding as to what those cultures, ethnicities are all about. But in the Black culture, that's where my question comes into place. My first two questions come into place, which is, do Black women really even understand or want to understand the value that the man can give to them? Now, I know there are a lot of issues going on with women. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I know, but I'm aware that there's issues in the culture where Black women are not being valued by the Black men because of the different type of behaviors demonstrated in terms of how what you can see on television, what you can see outside in what you can see outside in your day-to-day walk versus what I hear on the job, because I work with a predominant female environment. My years of experience in the corporate world has always been working with a lot of predominant women in the work environment. So I'm the lucky guy that gets to either hear all the baby daddy issues or the husband issues or the whatever the problem is. I'm that lucky guy that has to sometimes overhear it or be asked, what do I think? And not that I have a problem with that, but a lot of times I'm telling women, well, wait, first off, let's examine your choice and your expectations in order to even know if you fail to realize that you're making choices based on either a feeling or you think you can fix a guy, you can fix the man. I have seen where that has become an issue, or that is an issue. I've found that a lot of Black women are accusing their Black man or Black male or Black men in general of being bums and all kind of negative. So if there are women out there that are setting some expectation out there that they want this man to be worthy of her, my suggestion to that woman is, first, are you worthy of him? And what is it that you're projecting? What is it about you that you're projecting? Are you projecting too much confidence? Are you projecting not enough confidence? Are you gold digging? Or are you just looking for somebody to fill a void or a space for the moment? Like, what are you doing? Like, okay, it's easy to say that the man, if the man is obviously showing his true colors, I get that, okay, you didn't catch it in the beginning, but somewhere before the end, you caught it. Somewhere in the middle, you caught it.
Okay.
And you probably caught it early enough in time to honestly withdraw. But if you have been thinking that you can fix somebody else because he has these elements, then that's where I feel there are women that are making mistakes in their choices. Because I always share, and I'm a father of 4 daughters, two grandchildren, two granddaughters out of the number that I have. And again, I've already said that I'm a man that's basically been working in a female dominant environment. And I always say this: men are poets. We're really good with words. We can tell you how pretty you look, how wonderful you look, and women love women love poetry. They love the sound of a man's voice, how he sings, how he talks, how he wins her over, And the mistake that and that's where I've shared with some women that, if you're listening to if you're listening to the poetry of the man telling you how beautiful you are and all the other things that get you into the bedroom or get you, or you get him or you get him into your heart, I mean, nothing wrong with that. But you got to be wise about what you're listening to. And again, know what you want for yourself. So that's why I first point at the ladies to say, how does he show you he's deserving?
Okay, but let me just interject for a second. So
yeah, sure.
And all the points that you've made are true and valid. And we know that there are many challenges that need to be fixed. They have to be addressed and they need to be fixed. Everyone's relationship structure is different. We all show up how we show up. We all make bad choices. I understand. I've made some good decisions and bad choices. I have. It was a good decision to get married. It was a bad choice in who I married. It was a good decision to, you know, start this job. It was, or to change careers, but it was a bad choice.
Yeah.
The company I decided to work for. So,
Real
you
talk.
know, right. My thing is, in the midst of all of that, how do we as women, because there's always going to be imperfections, there's always going to be, I have totally embraced the fact that I am perfectly imperfect. I am. No matter how amazing I can show up in any given day, I'm always going to be perfectly imperfect. There's always going to be some flaw. There's going to be something that I don't get 100% right. But as a woman, in order to try to break a certain cycle, because I'm still going to get stuff wrong, what can I do, or how can I show up and begin to celebrate you as a man? Because you made a good point of how does a man show up? But I also have to consider the fact that you are also perfectly imperfect. You are also still a work in progress. I can't expect you to show up as this perfectly chiseled out, you know, sculpture that is baby Jesus, you know, and just does everything right, you know, Jesus 2.0. That's not, you know, that's not, it's easy to praise God because he's perfect.
Right.
You know, it is easy to celebrate God because he is perfect. It is hard for us to celebrate one another because we are imperfect. Right. So how a man is showing up is also reflects on how a woman is showing up. I may match your energy, how you're showing up, but in that, how do I celebrate you? What can we as women do to make you feel celebrated so that we can start to change our behaviors? Because I also want to hear from the women. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I do, and I was starting in that direction because to answer your question, to get to the end of what I was trying to outline is, you know, don't undervalue us. You know, don't undermine us. Like you said, you know, we're not perfect. You know, and we certainly and Pastor Chris has already covered some of the elements of what makes us imperfect. You did also, my sister.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Because you and I have had this conversation some long time ago, and the biggest element I think that's missing is the respect of understanding that if you accept us with our imperfections, that would be appreciated. I mean, I give you an example. My wife and I were in the kitchen. We were putting dinner together. That's why I was running late. And I do things differently than she does. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not trying to put my wife on the platform. Sometimes her intensity goes so
very emotional. Yeah.
Yeah. And mine kind of builds up because if the intensity of how she feels about something I was doing is different than how she would want it to be done, while she's up here, I'm like, okay, but listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Listen to what I'm trying to explain. I hear what you're saying, but I need you to listen to me. And the more and more you're not listening to me, now I'm meeting you where you're at, and now that changes the whole dynamic of what it was that started all this. I definitely am not trying to say that a woman should be subordinate to a man to the extent to where, you know, it's just shut up and don't say nothing. I'm just saying, like, okay, if you're wanting me to listen to what you're saying or agree or understand, first respect that I'm talking to you and I'm not trying to argue with you. See, a man will build up help me out here, Pastor. A man's temperament builds up, where I find some women are just go straight.
Women we're like microwaves. Men, y'all are like pressure cookers. You're slow cooker. But that's balance.
So how we want to
stop being queedish. That's basically what. Just stop being queedish. That's the word. Stop being queedish.
Okay.
Y'all know what I mean. All that. Stop. Just stop.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if a man is to be deserving of a woman's respect, my first point that I was trying to ask was, is the man doing what he should do to get his respect? And if he is, then that woman should just, what's the word? Queedish? Chill out. You know, if you respect that man
I'll put it in plain English, Donald. stop undermining the man. Like, we like to over talk and overpower. Okay, I'll put it in plain English. I just said Quedish just to sum it all up. But when you start overpowering and all that, yeah. There you go.
So and once you and that's it, and there are your answers right there. It's hey, look, you know, bring it down. Meet us where we're at too. The way you want us to meet you where you're at. You know, help us help you as we help, and then help us help ourselves. You know, everything is not a challenge. You know, this is a very strong feminist environment that dispensation we're in today, where I get it. Women have been held down for many, many years by those men who have done it to them. But not every man is responsible. Not every man needs to be, not every man needs to be treated like he's an enemy. I say this, whether you're married, dating, whether you're in a workplace environment, church environment, even if you're a leader. I've had some pretty nasty leaders that are women that treated me worse than the fellas that I've worked with. And sometimes that, as a man, we're sometimes quick to revert to our boyish personality when dealing with some of these type of intensities that some women project.
Mhm.
But what we want y'all to do, or what we would ask to be done, is just don't put a label of expectation on us that's greater than where we can meet. I tell my wife, my wife wants a BMW. I tell her, look, good luck, because I am never going to buy you a BMW, because I stay where I'm at.
Okay. So you're saying,
but I will work towards getting it for you. But I need you to understand. We gotta, I try to use that as a better way of trying to say, I get women's expectations again, or
not always.
Maybe not.
So,
But let's keep it real, because your expectation, whether it be in a relationship or a fellowship with a friend, or in a relationship with a man, you have certain expectations to what you want those people to be like-minded. And some folks you'll give a little, you'll give them some time to get there. But other people, you want them to get there right away, because you see potential that they can get there. And I guess I'm still saying the same things I've said.
how a man shows up.
Huh?
You said how a man shows up. How are you showing up?
Yeah.
Right. I understand. Okay. So let me surmise it. I don't want to cut you off, but
I'm good. That's really good. We got where I was trying to get to. Because I guess one other point I want to make, if I could, real quick, is
because I want to get to the ladies.
Okay. So in less than 10 seconds, how Mother's Day and Father's Day vary. I guess the point I was trying to make is that it's all right for women to want a diamond ring, but understand that a man does not necessarily always want a tie or socks. He wants the same. He has the same expectation and level of wanting as you do. So give him equally. I want the diamond ring too, to be honest with you, straight up.
You want, as Pastor Chris said, balance. So to sum it all up, and thank you both for your feedback and your shares, is respect, peace, praise. You said did not undervalue, and show honor, and Psalmist said balance. And I think the expectations of everything that you said, our expectations a lot of times are based on how you, as you first said, how a man shows up. So we all have to be mindful of how you're proceeding forward, because men, you go forward to impress women. And a lot of times that impression is what traps you up, because you don't want her to think less of you, but you don't want to lose the opportunity to have her attention, but you're also not being 100% forthright in who you are. And you're setting a standard that a woman will adjust to quickly. Because how you show up to me first, who you present, I don't want your representative. I ain't worried about that. And I think, the women, the ladies will agree. And I'm going to, get them in the conversations, and then we'll wrap it up for tonight and definitely have to come back because, you know, as always, our conversations spin off into other conversations. But as we're talking about celebrating, again, we are celebrating one another. No, and it's great and I love it. But these are important things to know. I do believe that a man, okay, when I started dating, I was dating a particular person. They used to bring me flowers all the time. Bring me flowers. I would get like 2 dozen roses pretty much every week or at least twice a month, one for my office and one for home. And I'd be like, don't, and it speaks to the expectation that you were talking about. And I would say, don't start on this level if this is not something you're going to maintain. Like, don't, because you can do it for the first maybe 4 months of us dating. But when month 6 comes and now you're coming with a sunflower from the parking lot, that's a whole, you know. Am I right, ladies? Am I right, Michelle?
Baby sister, tell me who gave you a sunflower. I'll find him.
I'm not, the names. What I'm saying is
budget cuts.
Right. They're right. So I'm just saying, you know, when we're speaking of that balance, now I believe in, I'm the type of woman who I believe, and Michelle and Mama, y'all jump in. I believe in treating a man. I believe if I deserve flowers, I believe that you do too. If I deserve chocolate, I believe you do too. If I deserve, you know, whatever it is I deserve, I believe that you deserve it also. So I'm not going to just take and not give, you know. I'm just saying, so when you start talking, now Donald has faded away. Now he's going to try to find the person who gave me a sunflower. My God. 204, where'd you go? I'm just saying.
Found them.
While you're talking about expectations and balance, again, show up as you, because you're setting yourself up to now have to maintain a woman for how long in a space that you cannot maintain. So set your expectations right. If she ain't for you, she ain't for you, bro. You know, if you can't afford me, you can't afford me.
Absolutely.
But I'm just saying, you know, and I believe women will work with a man when you show up as you. We don't mind waiting. Some don't mind waiting for you to get there. But it's when you come into it as if you're already there and then you fall off that mark. It's like, well, you told me, you know, A, B, and C. So I'm just saying. So we do have to find that balance and meet in the middle. Michelle, come on, jump in and share what you think and feel about how we celebrate one another from the women's point of view. What can men do to help us feel celebrated now that we've heard their list of demands?
Well, one of the first items that I put on my list is that no socks, no more neckties. I just wanted to go ahead and just put that in my writings. I'm with you, Don, as far as if you're not going to continue what you're starting today, 6 months, a year, you look me in my eyes and say, I do, based on how you were acting prior to, then a month later, the real you comes out when it's Father's Day.
That's why you get socks. Because your I do turned into I did. That's why you get a sock. And you're only going to get one sock.
I just say it's a matter of respect. I agree with the man. It's a matter of respect. But again, it's a two-way street. And I also think, you know, I'm big on listening. Pastor Chris knows I talk about listening. Again, that's a two-way street. As Minister Donald said, yes, we can bring it down a level and we can level up. But we still need to have that conversation, not just when things are, we're upset, but all the time. Just sit down and let you know that, hey, I hear you. That's what's important. I respect what you're bringing to the table. I hear you. Because sometimes you think that person heard you, and then you're wondering, you know what I'm talking about, Don. Are you listening to me? Did you hear me? It's so important. And that's a two-way street. don't expect me to just listen to you when you're not going to listen to me. You know, again, it's a two-way street. You want to be respected, then respect me. I think that is so important. But I agree totally with the man is saying, you know, as far as here's their expectations, now what is mine? And I think we need to have that conversation before you look me in my eyes and say, I do. We definitely want to have that cleared up before we walk down that aisle. Because again, that goes back to my book, Don. Yeah.
Okay.
By the time you look into the eyes to the point where you say, hey, this isn't going to work. So again, I believe in having a conversation beforehand. But even after you say I do, you still want to be able to sit down and have that conversation. What am I doing wrong? You know, why are we here? You know, what happened? What can I do to make things better and take accountability? Because it's not always him. Sometimes it could be us. So we need to take accountability for what we did to make him do whatever he did, or, you know, hey, have that conversation with me, Michelle, and I'm going to have that conversation with Timmy so that we know exactly where we are and what we could do to stay strong. And Don, I see that you're laughing. Please don't laugh, because my friend Timmy is watching, and I don't want him to think that you was disrespectful.
I'm so sorry, Timmy. Timmy, I apologize. There's never any disrespect here on Thursday nights with Lady Dawn B. Okay, we are of the utmost respect.
Thank you so much.
I forgot. You know, Tim, you're right. Timmy, you are welcome to come onto the platform, Timmy, while you're watching. We'd love to have you.
I just want you all to know, Minister Donald and Pastor Chris, that I will definitely be hosting the Men's Lounge in 2024.
Lord
Looking so much forward to our continuing this conversation. So thank you.
Yes, Michelle will be hosting the Men's Lounge in 2024 from the comment section. So it will be fine. It will be fine. But thank you, Michelle, for your comments. And Timmy, utmost respect to you. I do understand.
We welcome you, Michelle.
Thank you.
No, okay.
And Timmy.
So when Donald has his right, Michelle and Timmy are welcome.
He said Timmy. Yes, thank you, Minister Donald. Thank you. Timmy is here. He's doing a cartwheel right now for your respect. So thank you so much.
Timmy, I hope you were not in aisle 5 of Walmart. That's a whole nother story. But
I got a question real quick for Chris. Where in HEB, because I live in Texas too, if you didn't know. And so I know about HEB. And I'm just taking a moment to be a joker. Where in HEB is the men's section on Father's Day? Because I definitely know where it's at for the women on Mother's Day.
As soon as you, well, as soon as you walk in the store, it's a little. They make a little aisle that's probably maybe not even that tall, maybe 6 feet tall. And it's got all of the little colognes in one section, and it's got ties in the other section, then has the mugs in the other section, then has the socks on the bottom. And then now they're being more creative, and they're having little candy baskets. Yeah, they try to get fancy over here.
I'm saying my local HEB don't have that.
Oh, it depends on where you live.
Oh, well, Pearland must be, I guess.
Yeah, I'm in Burnett, so like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in Burnett, Texas, so it's only like 5 of me here. So I'm just saying.
My goodness. Well, now if you're looking in Texas for the Father's Day section at the local whatever store that was, no disrespect intended, Pastor Chris has told you where to find it. Don't pass it by. Make sure you stop and support. And yes, make sure. So Pastor Chris had a good question, which is, why does it always have to be about money? That is a good question. And I honestly want to answer, because I also want to give Mama Rosa, Pastor Rosa, the opportunity to jump in. But this is a legitimate question. Um, my response to that would be it doesn't always have to be about money. I think what happens, and this is one of the topics actually that we're going to be talking about in 2024. I know in the ladies' room, we'll be discussing basically putting a price on your presence as women, because a lot of us do that. A lot of us do that. I'm saying we straight no chaser. It doesn't always have to be about money. What happens is when a man leads with his money, it's what you put out there, and I do understand the other side of it too, is that the expectation of women is one of the questions: how much do you make? What can you do for me? And that's actually the topic for the ladies' room, is what can you do for me? Because that's a question. And no. Understand the angle it's coming from. It's because we as women, we will ask that question to a man when a man is approaching you, trying to get to know you. And before we really give you our time of our attention, one of the things that come up is, well, what can you do for me? At some point in the conversation, well, what are you coming to the table with? And well, what do you make? And well, what do you? And sisters, understand this. When you respond with those questions, you are putting a price. You're setting a price list that, oh, if you make this is how much of me you're going to get. Oh, if you do that or can provide this is how much of me you're going to get. And we have to stop putting ourselves in these positions that make men feel like all you are is a wallet, and that you have to define yourself by the money that you make instead of the man that you are. And we as women have to stop being willing to, basically, I'm just going to put it this way, sell ourselves to the highest bidder because we want to be comfortable. So I don't think that it does always have to be about money. I think as men and women, we have to have the conversation and break that mindset that we talked about, because I don't care about your money personally. I come to the table, I bring the table. I was told I got my own table. My expectation is that when we come together, we put our tables together and we, have our own banquet hall. Everybody bring what you bring. I don't want to be in that position where, now I understand it takes money to do things, but it's not always about, I can only speak for me. I've dealt with people who have not had him. I've dealt with people who have had no job. It's never been about that, because I can manage me. Where you are today is not where you're always going to be. But this thing of money, as far as men is concerned, has been put out so much that it, to me, at this point, is a bit ridiculous. And there's no way we're going to be able to change it until we have those discussions. Simon says, first off, this is not Housewives of ATL, and doesn't a true value of a man. He is actually taking care of his children and have balance in his life, period. Doesn't the true value of a man is that, yes, it's not you can come off your mic if you want, Chris. It's not the Housewives. We watch so much of this fabricated TV, that you got to realize this is not your everyday. I don't live in these spaces. I don't. We trick ourselves into wanting things that are outside of our realm and outside of our reach in the moment. And we want to walk somebody else's journey. I don't want to do that. But you're right. No, the value of a man does come from the person that you are, whether even before you have children or the balance in your life. How you manage you, to me, is the value. It is what values you most as a man. I'm gonna let you go ahead, Chris, share, and then Mom, I want you to jump in after Pastor Chris.
Yeah, because I really want Mama Rosa to throw the icing on the cake of all this, because I really want to hear the knowledge that this woman of God's going to put on the table. She's going to shut it down. But I just wanted to, I said this to say this, like there's so many different degrees. Like we we're always constantly leveling up. We're always constantly this. We're always told we're not this, we're not that. Now, when we're doing the total opposite of what a man's supposed to be doing, since day one. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. He's taking care of what he needs to take care of, right? You want to bring scripture into this thing, right? He's taking care of his family. He has balance in his life. He has peace. Why would a man want to interrupt the peace that he has with chaos? And this whole money concept and this whole Boaz concept and this whole we got to be balling, shot calling nonsense. Now, I'm not saying, please, ladies, don't take this
I
the
don't
wrong.
subscribe to the Boaz concept, but I get you.
But all I'm saying is, I'm not saying I'm cool with being in the shed. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not also cool having a lemon for a car. I'm not cool with that. But if I'm taking care of my children, which they come first, and you come to me and I'm sacrificing my own needs and wants to take care of my responsibilities, where's my value in that? There's no respect in that nowadays. I'm being real. That's in the church and in the natural. They rather put high value on a man that doesn't take care of his kids, go from woman to woman, go from house to house, macking all these honeys, and it's good because he thugging, because he got a little drip. Okay, well, it's nonsense. He's not taking care of a thing. But yet a dude that's doing that gets devalued and demasculated because you ain't thug enough, you ain't locked up enough, you ain't got enough tats, you ain't got enough all this other stuff. This is where the dynamic is messed up. And it's affecting the church too. Y'all don't want to talk about it, but that's a whole nother show. It's affecting the mindset of the women of the church. Because now the pastors, I'm going to get in trouble with this one when I'm going to say it. The men of God, the pastors, right? Most of them are married, right? Now, the single men that are under the pastor, now these men have to hold a standard, right? We have to be like bishop or apostle or doctor, and we got to come up from being McDonald's managers, and then we got to make six figures, or if we ain't doing that, we're not blessed and highly favored of God. This is coming from the church mindset. And then we got the natural mindset that, okay, you got a black man that has a job, he's promotable, he's doing it, he's taking care of his responsibilities, but yet he's still demasculated. Again, where's the balance? So I'm gonna throw that in there. I don't see that there's nothing going on in chat, but these are questions that need to be posed, because at the end of the day, it's affecting not only the church, but it's affecting the natural space we already know is jacked up from the floor up. We got all these reality TV shows that's tearing up the next generation of mindsets across the globe. So again, I'm gonna drop the mic there. I'm done. I can't.
Well, before Mom jumps in, I would just say this, and everything that you said is true and valid and realistic. But the one thing that I've learned is that also, while these are realities of ours that we exist in, it also has a lot to do with our choice. You know, our choices. We have choices to make. You know, we can stay or we can go. You know, we have the opportunity to move out of particular circles. I stopped. Okay. I had to come out of the kiddie park, you know, playing with the do-it-yourself kit kind of men, you know, and you get frustrated in being in that, but that was my choice. That's where, and I had to come out of that neighborhood and decide that that's not where I want to be. I have to learn to choose better. Again, good decision, bad choice. That's just me. So I think that while because that's not giving me my end result, you know what I'm saying? That's not giving me it's not serving me, it's not getting me anywhere. I'm still going in circles because I'm stuck in this circle. So we have to make those choices to move out of those spaces and stop feeling like this is the only choice that we're ever going to have. So we try to pick the lesser of two evils or the better of two evils. You know, I'm going to pick the best of the worst woman. I'm going to pick the best of the worst man. No, Believe in yourself enough to know that that's not the circle for you and you don't deserve that. And then you got to learn how to shake that off and want better for yourself and go on to the next. So that's just my response. That's just my take on it a little bit. I want to leave Mom the chance to get in and share. So I'm going to mute and let Mom jump in there.
Well, first of all, I think any relationship outside of siblings, you need to be mature enough to know what it requires to be a part of a relationship, and then know yourself well enough to know if you actually have those attributes to be in the relationship. And then listen, I mean, listening as a counselor and as a minister, I'm saying I've heard a lot of stuff, and it sounds like more than one woman. Like, this cannot be one woman. Like the Proverbs 31 woman. It's impossible for all those things in Proverbs 31 to be one woman. Those are just concepts that we have, ideas that we have. So you have to know realistically. You can't go. You cannot be in a relationship with a person without knowing who that person is. Because otherwise, if you don't know who that person is and who you are, who you're in a relationship with an idea. It's a concept that you have. A lot of us, and I'm not going to say a lot of us women, because we are all individuals. We're all individuals. This man is an individual. This woman is an individual. If you went through an experience with this person, that's that individual relationship. That's that individual issue in that relationship. And in order to understand that, you have to understand why you were in that relationship in the first place. What was going on with you in the first place as to why you would get involved with this person, and why didn't you know enough about that person before you put your intimate self in that relationship? Why would you put yourself in something that you don't know enough about when it's intimacy we're talking about here? We're talking about opening you up in a situation with somebody that you don't even know anything about. And so that's what we end up, with all of these questions. All these questions. Know yourself before you invite yourself into somebody else's life. Know that that person is the person, not a person, but the person that you are supposed to be with. God made Adam, he made Eve. He did not bring Adam a cow. He brought Adam a woman made after him. And when he saw her, he said, finally, one like me. Since we have Adam and Eve, and we are all Christians, listen, we read Genesis. It's the first book in the Bible. So we should know right then and there, where do I go from here? We got Adam and Eve to tell us. Listen, we talk about Adam. Adam was right there when Satan when the serpent. What was his problem? He was right there. The woman was talking to the serpent. Do you not understand that animals communicated as to why she was having a conversation? Did you not understand what the devil said to her? He said to her, do you really know that God said this? Which means what? Adam was supposed to tell her. He was supposed to tell her. What did she do? She paraphrased, because she did not know definite verbatim what God said. It wasn't God's job. It was Adam's job. Know your job. Know who you are. Know what you're supposed to do when you step in at 18 years old. Know at 18 years old what you're supposed to do when you're stepping into a relationship. Know that if you become intimate with this woman at 18 years old, if she becomes pregnant, you are a father and you're responsible. Know your responsibility in that relationship. Stop comparing. And I'm not just talking, to you guys. I'm just saying it's in my, because I listen to Clubhouse because Dawn listens to it. I don't because there's one guy on there. There's one gentleman on there, and I'm saying, okay, but I can tell you why you still having this conversation. Because you stepped in where this woman was. You saw her and you knew you did not fit. You knew you weren't qualified to talk to this because you saw her. You saw her. You wanted to talk to her. And so now all the women in the world now are bad people because you went up to the wrong woman. And she said no. And you couldn't know who you are and know what is required of you. Know who you are. When you know who you are, see, and then stop going on your own, listening to the world saying, well, this woman, but let me ask you a question. You said, why does it always have to be about money? Why does it always have to be about sex? Why? Because these are needs that people have. God made a relationship. You should have money. You got to pay rent. You have to buy food. Your kids need clothes. There's things that you want to do, but if a woman is coming to you and saying to you, listen, you got to have long money to come with me, keep walking, because she don't want you. She wants what you can make her. She wants to be kept. Sex is a part of a healthy relationship. You need money to support each other. You need a car. You need a car. I mean, but when we get involved with people that want to take part of the equation and major in that, you need to keep walking. Let's not be so desperate to be in relationship with the opposite sex that we do it and end up getting your feelings hurt. God made Eve for Adam. Who was Eve? She was the right individual for Adam. That's what my advice is. My conclusion of the know who you supposed to be laying next to. Know who's supposed to be sitting across the table from you. Know who you supposed to be budgeting. Of your putting your money. If I'm bringing my money, I'm giving it to you. This is what. Know that you can trust that person. That your needs are going to be met, and that you can safely and securely know that having a child with this man, that child's going to be provided for. And I don't mind to get out and go get a job and help this, this individual, right here. And I say this in conclusion. When my son got married, he and his wife asked me to counsel them. You know what I said to them? In the final analysis, I said to them, what is more important, the argument or the relationship? What is more important, the fact that this person can't do this or the relationship? Work together to make the relationship work. There's no 50-50. Sometimes it's 30-70. Sometimes it's 20-80. But together, what does it do? It makes 100. I'm done.
Well, and she dropped the mic. She's got a lot of attitude. 2024, I see what's about to go down. Now, thank you for that, Ma. I can't even, so many nuggets in there, and I'm not even going to bother to touch it. I'm going to let that rest and breathe. That's what we're going to do. We're going to let it rest and breathe. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey, Brandy, my beautiful admin partner. I love you. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Von Eric, thank you for joining us. And Nay, thank you for hanging in there with me. And all of you who are up in the silent seats, Krishana, Three Kings, I Am King, Chris, everyone, Alicia, everybody who popped in on this great conversation on tonight. We need to have more of these conversations. I would be here all night if we could. but we don't want, because these are important. These are important. We started out talking about celebrating as this year ends. I said I don't do resolutions. I just I set goals, and I allow the goals to breathe on their own and just keep working on them until they are complete. But as we are wrapping up this year, it's important that we do take the time. We started out by counting back to celebrate ourselves and things that we have accomplished throughout the year. As we go into 2024, and this is the last Thursday of this month and of this year, I am most grateful for the fact that 52 weeks of this year, and I am still here to be able to bring this type of content, conversation, and present this type of platform to all of you. Again, on Thursday nights, I believe in keeping it real talk with real resolutions. We're not sugarcoating anything. We are not going to get any better as people until we are really willing to talk real deal, straight no chaser about the things that are going on. And so we can develop better understanding one with the other. We're not a community divided can help no one. And we have to be unified and bring our family units back together. It may not happen overnight. It's not going to, but we have to start somewhere. So I want to encourage us in 2024 to take time to celebrate what you do every day. Celebrate yourself first. When you cheer for you, you'll teach others how to cheer along. And they will then rise up to the standard that you have set for yourself. Instead of you waiting for somebody to clap for you, clap for yourself first, and others will learn to get in line with your rhythm. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. Again, we started talking about celebrating, and we ended talking about celebrating, but we shifted the content of the conversation to how we can celebrate one another. Our men, looking forward to them on the men's lounge so that they can continue to express themselves openly without the estrogen in the room, just so that they can put it out there exactly what they feel. Because, men have a language and a tone of their own. And oftentimes men, y'all, may soften it up for the presence of us ladies. But I believe that you need a space where you can speak freely and clearly and openly. And women, we can lean in and listen and be quiet. So I hope you guys will continue to tune in, like, subscribe, and share, as Pastor Chris and Minister Donald are going to be, they are part of our men's lounge. When they are available, they will be coming through in 2024. I promise you, don't shy away from conversations, y'all. I see Michelle celebrating. Michelle is going to be hosting from the comment section. That is going to be her job. She's the comment admin. Okay? All right. I will be the only estrogen on the platform, and that will be temporary. But we're going to do what we need to do. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Pastor Chris. Thank you, everybody. It's been an amazing year. Tune in for 2024. We're going to keep on having these conversations. I am your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. It is my honor, privilege, and my pleasure to serve you in this capacity. I will see you on the other side. Thank you for celebrating with me. Stay tuned. Have a great, safe, healthy, happy New Year. Go ahead, Pastor Chris. You
I got to close this thing out.
Come on, sir.
Come back 2024, brand new season. Thursday night with Dawn P. We got the men's lounge. We got Mama Rosa. We got the distinguished Toastmaster Michelle Roach, all in the building. We got my new Mama Sheila. God bless you. Come back. Same time, same channel. And like I always tell everybody on my platform, and I'm bringing it over here, you are more than you think and greater than you heard. Resurgence 2024. And this is the Psalmist Voice, and I'm done. Walk with us. Let's go.
Go be great, everybody. Go be great.
I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah.
You ain't with the news on the floor. Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm out to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information for me. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortune me blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a drop top, pop out like a cross top. Telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with pens and needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dreams till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. With the snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, keep pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life.